Good morning, children. Welcome back to the social session. Children, in last class we learnt about ways how there will be a change in the population size. We have learnt the three factors which influences the population size. One is the birth rate, second is the death rate, and third one is the migration. And how these really impact with an examples also we have learned. If there is a slight change of even 2% also, then the population leads to an explosion. So that leads to a huge population explosion also we have learnt in the previous example. Now let us move on to, have you remember what we have seen, or you want me to recapitulate what we have seen? How the birth rate, death rate and migrations, in-migration and out-migration are used in the calculation of the population size, we try to understand. And how to arrive at a population growth rate, how much of population has got increased. Shall I recapitulate? Let us imagine there are 29 children who are born, okay, for every 1000, and there are 19 children. Let us imagine some 19 children, 19 people died, okay, 19 people died. So, or 10 people died, not 19, okay, let us imagine some 10 people died, okay. Then you remove these deaths from the births, okay. Then you will arrive at 19. This 19 is a number which has increased per every 1000. Now convert it into percentage. How should we convert this 19 into percentage? It becomes a 1.9 percentage. That is nothing but divided by 100. So it becomes a 1.9 percentage when you divide it by 100. So percent, that is nothing but per 100. It is 1.9. So the population growth rate is 1.9. This is considered as a population growth rate through which we calculate the growth rate per annum. And in order to examine the causes for the growth of population, Indian population as seen from the graph given there, you find the huge population increase from 1901 to 2011. So it was 238 million people population at the beginning of the century, and by 2011 it has increased to 1210 million. So there is a huge population increase in India. The causes for this growth is both death rate and we need to observe both birth rate and death rate. There has been a rapid decline in the death rate, but till recent times birth rate has not been decreasing substantially. Death rate has decreased, but birth rate did not decrease. It remained the same, but whereas the death rate has decreased, and due to which what happened? It leads to the population explosion. How? See, birth rate remained 29, okay, and death rate got decreased to 8. Then the net increase, the net population added will increase or decrease? It will automatically increase. So the same thing happened here. The period between 1901 to 1921 has witnessed high death rates due to the famines, epidemics, and including influenza epidemic of 1918. This is estimated that it has killed 15 million people. This influenza has killed some 15 million people from 1921 onwards, especially in the post-independence era. That means after independence, the impact of famines has declined because the government has met with many policies in order to meet these famines. There was a storage of grains were there, movement of grain, and ration shops have come through which the government started supplying the ration to the poor people. And an active public voice in democracy also can be seen during this period. Similarly, epidemics such as cholera, plague, and some extent malaria have also been controlled with the medicine getting developed and even the vaccines coming into the market. Polluted water, congested living, and uncleared garbage were the real causes of the several diseases, and this has been continuing, and these causes have been met with the sanitation. Better sanitation, clean water is being provided, and nutritional level, and several steps have been initiated in order to improve the standard of living of the people. Later on, advances in medicine, especially in antibodies, antibiotics and vaccines also contributed to the better healthcare system, where the death rate fell down and birth rate remained the same. So compared to the 1921 death rate toll, high birth rates along with the declining in the death rate is the reason for the higher growth of population. Why did the birth rate remain high, and why for such a long period? And on set of reasons. One set of reasons has to do with this what has happened in the past. if in the overall population the percentage of the young people is high, then in the coming years they would grow up and get married and have children. Then the total number of such children added to each year would be high, because we began with a population with a large number of young people. So that may again they are reproductive. When they get married and they produce the children, again the population keeps on increasing. So that is the reason why for continuously the population growth rate has been the birth rate has been high. The other reason is the number of children the couples wish to have. Of course, now they are educated, they are having either one or two. This is in turn is related to the how many children will survive also, what social security people have if they are very rich and wealthy, who can manage, who can afford the growth of the children in the present day, then they will have more children. And the preference to have a male child also in the society, that kind of what we call stigma is present still. In order to have a male child, that has become a preference. So that is also a reason that the birth rate has got increased. And you would also inquire in your family and compare across 3 to 4 generations the number of children who survived. Mostly what happened is, if one is present in the family, if one child is present, so at what time, what kind of a disease may attack, we don't know, we may lose him. That's the reason why they had half a dozen or a dozen people. So 6, 12, just like a cricket team. So because the survival of the children, at least one will survive at the last, is what they used to think of. So medical services are assured and nutritional levels was not always available for them. So together with this, the preference for having male child was very strong among the families, that is in the large family sizes. These factors are changing now. So now there is a concept of small families, and since 1981 the birth rate also started gradually declining, and resulting in a gradual decline in the rate of the population growth. If you calculate the percentage of changes over the decades from 1951 to 2011, there is a table given in the textbook. You calculate the percentageal change of population growth rate from 1951 to 2011, and you'll understand this trend. In 1971, 1961, 71, there was an increase in the population growth rate. After 1981, so slowly the birth rate started falling down, declining. And we use also another concept called as the fertility rate, that is total births for a woman. So in her lifespan, how many births a woman can give is called as a fertility rate, about which we will see in the next class, children. Thank you.